Good morning, children. This is Meena. Hope you are all safe and healthy. Today, in Environmental Studies class, we are going to see some basic science facts. What is science? When you observe the world around you and put the question, what is this? How does this work? We come to know a lot about our universe and the science behind it. Science is everywhere. Whatever you do, wherever you go, it is just science. You walk, you jump, you cook, plants, animals, stars, moon, sun, planets, everything is science. Before getting into today's class, I wish to ask you some questions. Why do we get hiccups? Why is the sky blue? Why do we have eyebrows? All these questions you might have already thought and wondered why it is so. Such kind of certain facts only we are going to discuss today. Let's get into the video. Along with this, there are two members in the video, Tia and Tofu, helping us to understand the concepts.
What are you looking at?
At the moon. It looks so beautiful. But Tia, why does the moon shine?
Now that's quite interesting, Tofu. Technically, the moon does not shine by itself because it has no light of its own. It appears to shine because of the sunlight that reaches it. Tofu, let's go home. I'll explain you how the moon shines.
Yeah. So, one night while returning back home, Tofu was just amazed by the moon's shiny appearance. He just thinks, why do the moon shine? Tia explains him that the moon do not produce its own light, it is just reflecting sun's light. So, you might ask me the question now, what is meant by reflecting, ma'am? For this, now take a torchlight in your hand, stand in front of the mirror and press the switch. Did you notice that the light from the mirror surface returns back in the opposite direction? This is called as reflection. When light falls on the mirror in one direction and then it bounces back or reaches to you in the other opposite direction, it is called as reflection. The same principle applies in our moonlight also. During the daytime, we get sunlight, but during the night, the moon does not give us the light produced by its own. It just reflects the sun's light to us during the night time. For this, Tia and Tofu are doing an experiment to explain us clearly. Let us watch the video.
Hold this ball in your hands, Tofu, and I'll hold this flashlight in my hand.
Okay, but what do they represent?
The flashlight in my hand represents the sun, the ball in your hand represents the earth, and the mirror on the wall represents the moon. Do you see the mirror shining and that light getting reflected on the ball, Tofu?
Yes.
This is what happens. The moon just reflects the light of the sun, and what we see is the reflection of that light.
Oh.
The moon reflects only 7% of the sun's light and then glows softly. The fact that it glows softly and reflects only 7% of sun's light is that it absorbs most of the light that falls on it from the sun.
The moon looks so beautiful.
Now time to sleep, Tofu.
Yeah. Let's see the next fact.
Ah, I can't see anything, Tia.
Wait, I'll look for the torch.
Oh, thank God. But Tia, why is it that we can't see in the dark and only in light?
That's because, Tofu, in order to see, the eyes must receive light, and darkness is the absence of light.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever thought why we are not able to see in the darkness? Why no objects are visible to our eyes in the darkness? It is because all the objects are visible to us only in the presence of light by the principle of reflection. Only by reflection, whether it is an object or human beings, they are visible to us. The light falls on an object and gets reflected back to our eyes as mirror images, and then only it is visible. Okay, the next case is, I think you would have experienced this. When you are in a hot summer day and you enter your room, you could notice that the objects in your room are of little dimmer light objects. It is because of the variation in the amount of light. The sun is a brighter object when compared to the amount of light in your room. So, after being in a very bright objected room and then you enter your less amount of light room, the objects in your room will appear dimmer. This is what actually happens when the power goes off during the night time. Suddenly, when there is no light during the night time, the objects will not be visible to you. But after few minutes, your eyes will adjust to the amount of light in your room and you will be able to see the objects even when there is no power. This is because your eyes have an adjusting property called as accommodation power. It adjusts to the variations in the light intensity, whether it is a bright light or a dim light. Your eye will accommodate to it and helps you to see the objects clearly. Let's see what Tia gives Tofu an explanation.
I didn't get you, Tia.
Most of the objects we see around us are visible by reflected light, reflected sunlight, or reflected artificial light. You are able to see these objects because light reflects, and this reflected light is what becomes a mirror image in our eyes. Since darkness is the absence of light, there is no light in the darkness to be reflected from chairs, tables, or people to our eyes, and therefore we cannot see these objects.
But we are able to see in the dark after some time. Why is that then?
You have probably noticed that it is difficult to see objects inside a house when you have just come in from the bright sunlight. After you have been in the house a little while, your eyes adapt themselves to the dimmer light and you can see perfectly well.
Oh, thank God. We have torches when it gets dark.
Yeah. Are you clear, children, that for us to see the objects, whether it is in the presence or absence of light, we need the objects to be reflected with the help of light. Only if there is light, we can see the objects. Otherwise, our eye will adjust to the room's amount of light intensity. The next fact is regarding yawning. When do you yawn? Especially when you feel sleepy or when you are tired. Okay. So, how does this yawning happens from our body? That is what we are going to see now. Before that, have you ever noticed that if you are yawning, your friend nearby to you will also yawn? Yes, that is, yawning is contagious. It can spread to the nearby persons. That it's spreading of yawning is nothing wrong in it. It is just like sharing the feeling of others. Whenever you feel sleepy, your mother will automatically find it out when you yawn. You would have never told your mother that you are feeling sleepy, but your mother can identify it by just yawning. Let's see what the video is.
Tofu, are you feeling sleepy?
Nah, just tired. But Tia, what makes us yawn? And why is it so that when I see someone yawning, I kind of feel like yawning too?
Yawning is an involuntary action which we all do. And we all know that it is a feature of sleeping. It is commonly associated with tiredness, stress, and boredom. All vertebrates do yawn, including fish and birds. Human baby starts yawning since they are 20 weeks old.
So, how do we do it?
During a yawn, we open our mouth and we suck in a large amount of air and expand our chest. The cavity pulls down our diaphragm and fills air in our lungs and exhales it out. There are a number of theories that attempt to explain why animals and people yawn. As per the physiological theory, our bodies induce yawning in order to draw in more oxygen or remove a buildup of carbon dioxide. A more recent theory explains that we yawn more in the situations where our brain is likely to be warmer. So it's a way to cool down our brain.
Do you know that the average yawn lasts around 6 seconds?
Yawning is contagious. Only humans, chimps, and possibly dogs find them contagious. Recent studies show contagious yawning may be linked to one's capacity for understanding and sharing the feelings of others. So, Tofu, how many times have you yawned while listening to me? I hope not too many.
Yes, children. So, did you understand that? How do we yawn? We suck in more oxygen, and the lungs are the parts which are used for our respiration in our body. Below the lungs, there is a dome shape, like a curve shaped muscle layer present, that is called as diaphragm. The diaphragm is just becoming so it is being pulled down, and the lungs expand a lot so that more and more oxygen is inhaled during yawning, and when we release it out, the few leftover amount of carbon dioxide in our body is also released out. They are telling that there are so many studies proving the fact that yawning helps us to cool our brain, especially when it is warmer. Okay, children, let us move to the next fact.
Oh my god!
This was so much fun.
Yes, it certainly was. But Tia, why do I taste salt in my mouth?
Yeah. Have you ever been to a beach? Have you tasted the beach water, children? It is so salty, na? Yes, all the seawater is salty. In our earth, about 96% of water is present in the form of oceans, seas, and rivers. But we cannot use it directly for drinking purpose. It is because of the reason that the seawater is so salty. We have to purify them and only then we can use it for drinking. Yes, now back to the question. Why is the seawater so salty? What is the major source of water for us people? It is obviously the rain. The rainwater, which falls on the ground surface, as it moves down, it washes away all the nutrients and the minerals present in the soil and the rock bodies. And then the rainwater, where did it go after falling on the ground surface? It moves to the nearby streams or rivers and then to the seas. At the end, when it reaches the seas, the rainwater, which has along with it the carried salts, is settled or deposited at the bottom of the sea. Over a period of time, as the time goes on, more and more salts are carried by the rainwater and it is deposited at the bottom, and the seawater becomes so salty to taste. Let's watch the video.
Why is the seawater salty?
When the rain flows over the land, the water washes salt and other minerals out of the rocks and gets mixed with the water in the streams, rivers, etc. The rivers finally carry the salt to the sea. The salt stays in the sea as no water flows out of the sea. When the sea water evaporates to form clouds, almost all the salt stays behind. The left behind salt slowly gets collected over a period of time, and this is how seawater gets salty.
Oh, that is the reason we cannot drink seawater. It's too salty.
Yes, almost 96% of water on Earth is in the oceans. And still we cannot drink it directly. Water, water everywhere and not a drop to drink.
Yeah, okay, children. So I hope you got some facts today and you're clear with the reasons behind it. Regarding today's homework, I have given some 5 questions. You watch the video keenly and try to answer those questions. One question I have asked you to write the mirror images of the alphabets. So, what you have to do to answer that question is take a note and write the alphabet and stand in front of the mirror and copy down the image you obtained it. Okay? Thank you, children. Contact me if you have any doubt.